Hi, this video is on content leveling um, reading material for our students based on their grade level and possibly IEP or 504 levels. So I'm looking at a web page on a beginner's guide to the periodic table of elements, and I'm going to teach it to my 7th grade science class. I am going to use this AI app called Brisk that you see right here. It is a Google add-on, and if you haven't come to the Brisk class, that's a separate video on how to add it, but I can put that video on up here too as well on how to get the Brisk app. But what I want to show you today is how to make reading material available in your class and make it dependent on the student, what they get to see and what they get to read. So first of all, I'm going to level this text for my 7th grade class. So I could go to any website and I'm going to click on Brisk and say change level. So right now I already picked it before. It says it's at a 9th grade reading level. It'll tell you right here what it thinks the reading level is. You can change this to any reading level you want. So I'm going to say 7th grade and I'm going to hit change reading level. It's going to open up a Google document and it's going to put everything in that Google document based on a new reading level. So I'm going to let it go ahead and build that document, and I'm going to pause this while it's doing it. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, it's done. I'm going to go and close this, and now I've got this whole list rewritten for 7th grade. I'm going to go and copy that article, and I'm going to toss it into Moodle as a page called periodic table reading. And I'm going to go ahead and toss that down in here and say save and view. So right now I've got this periodic table reading for my students that is based on that reading level. Now I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it for I'm going to do it for my IEP students. I'm going to do it at 2nd grade level for my IEP students. And then I'm going to show you how I can take and make it so that my different students see a different reading assignment based on this reading level that I've just done for them. So I'm going to let this finish. Okay, so now I've got a guide that's just for a 2nd grade reading level. I'm going to go and copy this guide, and I'm going to make a new one called the exact same thing, called periodic table reading. So now I've got two things that are exactly the same but different reading levels for my different students. And I'm going to go ahead and go back here to my practice area. Now what I want to do is make it so Moodle automatically levels this or gives this based on the students that are clicking on the link. So I'm going to go back to edit this. And I'm going to go down here to restrict access. And I open that up and I'm going to add a restriction. And I'm going to add a restriction based on groups. And I'm going to say the student must not be in my IEP group. So every single class at Trail has the following groups, and it has your classes, and that is a 504, a gifted, and an IEP. So I'm going to say you must not be IEP. And if you had people that were on 504s for reading too, you could go ahead and say also must not be on 504. So must not match, and I'm going to switch that to any. So they must not match any of these 504 IEPs. This is for my students that aren't on 504 IEP. So if they are, they don't get to see it. I'm going to say save and return to class. So that one's for my students that aren't on IEPs or 504s, and I'm going to go here and do the exact same thing again, but the opposite. So I'm going to go down here to restrict access, and I'm going to add a restriction for a group, and I'm going to say must be on an IEP, and because I did the other one this way, I'm going to have to do this one as well, must match any of a 504 or an IEP. So, and then oh, by the way, I click the dot in the eye, meaning that if they don't meet this requirement, they also don't see it. So I'm going to hit save and return to course. So now when I tell my students in my class, and I'm going to say, hey, everyone goes to the link that says periodic table reading and read through that over the next 15 minutes. My students that are not on a 504 IEP are going to see this one, which is a fuller text at 7th grade reading level. My students that are on an IEP or a 504 are going to see this one. I can be more restrictive than that if I want to. I could say specific students, or I can make my own group that is just students with IEP or 504 for reading are in that group if I want to. Just picking IEP and 504 is the easiest way to do it. And now I've got course content that says, if you're here, you're going to get this. If you're here, you're going to get this. But they both are getting something that they can consume on my content at the reading level that they're currently at. That's how I can use Brisk to level text from any website that I see. I can also do the same thing with Diffit. Diffit is another service that we're paying for AI, specifically on education. And this one allows me to also do links, but you can see I can add text, I can upload PDFs, I can give a YouTube address, I can have it do it for a YouTube video, and I can provide links like I just did to do it. I can pick the reading levels here, just the same. I can also use it to generate a lesson. So if I want to do a lesson on the periodic table, I can just type in periodic table, let it at 7th grade and say generate resources. And now it's going to generate the lesson and questions and review items all on one page. And I'm not going to copy it all into Moodle. I'm only going to copy selected parts of it into Moodle. So I've got a lesson up here up top now with reading. I can click this and see the full text here, and maybe I say, you know what, I like this way better than what I saw before on the other one. It's a much nicer read, so I could go and I could use this instead if I was like, oh, you know what, that other one wasn't great. I'm going to go ahead and replace it with this reading instead, and I can see what that's going to look like. And if I want to add that picture, I can copy that picture and I can paste it into that exact same lesson and make it this one not being a web page, but I can paste that in there as well. If I got it, there we go. And I'm going to double click on it. See how big it is? If I double click on it, and then save it again, it'll automatically resize it to the size of my box. So when I hit save here, it should, there we go, make, even though that picture is huge, it resizes to wherever I'm looking at, and somehow I got 2 copies of it. Let me edit this again and get rid of the second one. Not sure what's going on there. I got that one, and then I got this one, and now I should be good. There we go, periodic table of elements, and here's the periodic table. And I could go here and change this one if I wanted to, just like I did on Brisk, and say, you know what, that I need to make this new one a new reading level. Oh, it's up here. And switch this to 2nd grade and regenerate it. And then I can edit the other one as too. So Diffit and Brisk very much do a lot of the same things. Brisk is based only on doing it to a website that you already have, or a Google Doc, which counts as a website, and Okay, and you can see this one even now made it reference like, oh, it's like you're playing with Legos. The rows are called those. So this one is completely different than the one before. I'm going to go back here and um, add this one instead to my lower reading level area. Although I still want that picture in there, I'm going to add that picture because I think they should all see the same picture. That's a personal preference that they would definitely notice. And by the way, when I post a picture, just like I did, and I see it's huge, if I double click on the picture and then save it again, it will automatically resize it. So when I post, it doesn't do it, but when I double click and then save, it does, just as a little expert tip there on you. And now I've got a much shorter, much more succinct one for them. Also, if I looked at this, based on the level, I get different vocabulary words, I get different exercises that I can hand out to my students, different quizzes, that as soon as I switch this back to a 7th grade, I'm going to have totally different questions, which goes to the activity of quizzes that we're going to talk about in the next class we do, not on this one today. And that is basically all I wanted to talk about on leveling text using AI. There is a third option. The third option is I've already got the text. I've got it from some other source. And I'm going to go ahead and grab all this text just to show you. I could take this text right here, and let me grab it all. And if I wanted to, I could also go to another AI. In this case, I'm going to use ChatGPT. I'm going to say, please rewrite this for my IEP students reading at a Lexile level of 300. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to post it in there, and I say enter, and it's going to go ahead and simplify the same thing. I can specify an exact Lexile level and have it rewrite it as well for me, and you can see it's much shorter than the original article there. So those are the 3 different options. There are other AIs that I could do it on as well, but those are ways that I can level my text. And the important thing to get from it is the fact that when I'm done, I can have different activities or different resources that my different groups see based on where they're at. So they all think they're getting the same thing, but they're getting more leveled stuff based on the level of reading that they're at.